Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for a bonus episode. We hang out in here, and we get the last trophy, which is hatching our cuttlefish. But while we sit here, let's talk about the game. Beginning to end, there's about 21 hours on this playthrough. Here are my thoughts. I started this game, literally the first early access build. I think I saw Sips play it back in the day, really early on. I know IGP also played this early on, saw the game change and develop. I think it was the first game I ever saw that happen with, like, got to see the game grow through development, got to see changes they tried, changes they made. For example, like terraforming used to be in the game, which was really cool, but also broke the game. So I think someone made a video, it may have even been the devs, but someone made a video where they took the terraformer and you could add little blobs of land, blop, 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 everywhere.
Vital signs stabilizing.
But you can also take land away, you could take tunnels and stuff. So what they did to prove their point was they made the gun terraformer pretty quickly. They might have just spawned it in to prove this point. And then they aimed it down at the ground and just went to the in-game level almost instantly. So they had to remove that to make the game not broken. So what do I think where it's at? It's in a good place. I think the devs kind of left it in a state where obviously there's things to improve, but man, they took it a long way and made some great improvements. So I applaud them for that. It's Unknown Worlds, right? Following this game, let's stay on the topic here. This game, the story was fantastic. It's engaging, it's mysterious, it's moving. Makes you want to figure things out. I think the voice logs are great, the voice acting is fantastic. It's just enough, right? To give you hope sometimes, but there's always isolation and disappointment, and as the game goes on, it really does sink in at some point that you are the last survivor, you're the only survivor. So if you're getting off this planet, it's up to you. And I think this game captures that's the kind of scariness, right, of the situation, the gravity of it all. I think it's great. I think the monsters are fantastic. The creature design is cool. There's always something interesting. It all looks like it fits and makes sense to where they are. And there's enough like leading and stuff to it. It tells you, like, there are clues about what's around and what you're about to encounter and stuff. Bones and things like that. Eggs, sometimes you see before creatures, and it gives you a hint of what they look like, potentially. So yeah, this game, one of my favorites. Cyclops vehicles are fun. I think the Prawn Suit, Seamoth, Cyclops, and Neptune Rocket are all great. I think all the design fits with the bases and things like that, which in turn fits with the Aurora, which I think is neat. Because, of course, they're getting the blueprints from those people, right? So it would fit their aesthetic in all likelihood. Yeah, I think it's fun. I think the story makes sense. I think it gives us quite a bit to chew on. There's different facets to it. So you have the disease, you have getting cured, you have getting rescued, the ship getting shot down, and your rescue ship getting shot down with the sunbeam. There's a psychic fish talking to you. There's aliens you're finding remnants of and research from, putting together clues about where to go. Sometimes it just tells you where to go to. Yeah, it's just, I give it a 9 out of 10. It's almost perfect. There's some issues with performance and pop-in. Oh my god, it used to be the worst. Now it's just kind of there sometimes. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. I think it's going to age well. I think it's going to be one of the timeless games that people can come back to and show their friends, show their kids, whatever. It's great. This is just great, family friendly. It's hitting all the boxes, right? Let's talk about our plans for the next streams. I'll still do some random things here and there. Rematch, I'm just having fun with. May as well stream it, right? Over on Twitch, BrewXPru, BrewXPru. Come follow me. I have 40 subscribers, I think, and they're all great. I'd love to talk to you too. Genuinely, a lot of fun. It's one of the reasons I do this is like meeting people, talking to people through shared experiences, through shared passions, games, joys, fears, all that stuff. It's really fun. So come join me. Next, we're going to do Subnautica 2 as our main kind of like uploading videos and streaming. I don't upload every stream unless I'm doing something like this series where it's got a continuous story. I think we're going to start editing stuff out just to make it a better experience for you guys instead of just a straight raw VODs kind of thing. Still learning. It's like my first couple weeks of doing this. So a lot of learning to do, but it should be good. Like even just in this stream, not this stream, but this series, like my camera's different, my mic is different, setup. Learned some things. Did some things different. Yeah. So any advice would be great. I know my mic was hot for a second. It's really gained up for some reason. Hey, buddy. Yeah, man. Coming out. We'll drink coffee. We'll talk. We'll have a beer sometime. Below Zero is coming. So let me talk about that game. Before we even get into it, I'm aware of the game. I've beaten it a few times. Disappointingly, that project botched might be too strong of a word, but it got a little botched. Right? I think my main gripe is the story makes no sense, and part of it's just skippable. You can just never see some things and have no idea, which is kind of weird. Also, I think there's a weird retcon with one of the people. I don't know. We'll get to it. I know the game suffered from last-minute rewrites to the story. I know they suffered from voiceover actors being changed, whatever it was. Yeah. We'll give it our best shot. We'll probably end up using a little more research. Definitely going to cut some things out, like the travel to and from spots. You guys don't need to see 20 minutes of me just going in a straight line and then going down, you know? You guys are more interested in the actual stuff. I know I'm competing with real flashy editing and things like that. It's real popular, but don't worry about them. We're just going to try to make this a better experience for us. Unless you like the long form. If you want the hours, if you want just background noise, yeah, I'll leave it in. Just let me know. I do need to, when I say professionalism, I don't mean like I'm dressing in a shirt and tie, but just get a little bit better, higher quality, more experience. I think it'll be great. We should be about halfway through for hatch time. And yeah. Anyway, Subnautica 2, let's get back to that. Or Subnautica Below Zero, not 2. If I've been saying 2, I apologize. But Below Zero suffered last minute rewrites and things like that. We're going to go in Subnautica 2, that's what this lead up is, but Also, it just felt a little uninspired, and that sounds kind of mean. I think they had good ideas. I think they just kind of whiffed. I don't know if it got rushed or if they just kind of suffered from success, where they just didn't take this as passionately, as seriously. It's kind of like a friend of mine told me once, you have your entire life to write your first album, and it can be as good as it needs to be. And then you can take as long as you want on it, and it's yours. No one's going to influence it, right? It's your first album. No one cares until they do. But your second album, you have 3 to 5 years to put out, maybe 2. And it's a deadline, and you have to sacrifice those quality processes and creative processes to get a product out, because now people expect it, and now people are aware of you and your album. They want a sequel, but they want it quickly, and your agents want it quickly. So I think that's what happened with Below Zero, which leads into a discussion about the current Subnautica 2 stuff going on. So I understand it. We've got the publisher that's been bought by, or a publisher bought the studio, rather, sorry. Big publisher. It's Crafton, right? They, from what I understand, they got rid of, don't jump to any conclusions. They got rid of the C-level leadership of that studio. And at first, it really, on surface level, it's easy, especially you're reading Reddit and things like that. It's really easy to be like, hey, it's a big corporation just being mean to another studio. We've seen this a lot with companies. EA is notorious for it. Yeah, it's the name of the business, unfortunately. So they let them go. They said, and there's a lot out there, but we're just going to briefly go over it. And they said something to the effect of, they removed the C-level leaderships and replaced them because they weren't, in a nutshell, super committed to what the project was. They're working on movies and all other projects and things like that. So they weren't super banging it out like on the game, right? So they got rid of them, and they pushed the release date back. What that has done now is created quite the stir, quite the stink about how the publisher moved the date so that some big bonus wasn't paid to the C-level guys. And they did that on purpose to not pay $250 million, and the position they took, which I find dubious, is they were going to give an amount of money from that $250 bonus given to those 3 guys. They were going to give it to the devs and the actual people working on the team, like a percentage. That percentage has changed so much from different things I've seen. But the counter argument that publishers put out is, because of these guys not being as committed as they need, or as we need, we have to delay the game. It's not ready, right? Now, your opinion is your opinion, and mine is mine, I guess. But that makes sense to me, right? Like, these guys weren't super committed. This game's not in a state we're comfortable releasing it in.
Vital signs.
Which I totally agree. I would rather not buy a steaming stink pile of something that really doesn't belong out as a product at all.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Even though there is the benefit of, like I said earlier, having fun watching the game grow and develop, right? So, form your own opinion. I think it's the right move based on what the publisher is saying. It's not in a state ready to go, even for early access, which there's the opinion, right? I think that's kind of the thing of the argument is there's people who want it as early as possible, who are excited, content creators, things like that are ready to jump on it. There are people like me who'd rather just have a quality experience. If it's got to develop through early access, great, but it has to function. And from what I've seen, even in the trailer they put out, there were some things going on. I was like, "Ooh, this game's not quite polished up yet, not quite cooked," and that was something they put together and put out. Like I said, game was delayed. Subnautica 2 is now a 2026 project, I believe, and that's okay. We'll be fine. If the game came out with all the hype behind Subnautica, below zero, less hype around, but people were excited for it, but people are excited for a follow-up to Subnautica, a true sequel, right? So it's either release it early and maybe kill the hype, because a lot of people are not going to be super familiar with that, right? That process and Subnautica 1, it's not very marketable either. If I'm not near it, will it still do that? Yeah. Oh, they look like they're actually trying to get out. But anyway, that's my take on it. It's not incredible. It's not a good situation. I hope, for what it's worth, everyone gets the money that they're owed and deserved. And maybe, um, if the C-level guys do end up winning it, then they would really have to give their team a substantial amount of that bonus for me to think that they're actually the good guys here. Because I think they're screwing around a lot. And that's okay, but to play this moral, like, position of the big company is just picking on the little guys and not wanting to pay. Not us, not the three guys, but they don't want to pay the devs. And that's such a dubious position because how much of that money are those three guys actually keeping out of that $250 bonus? And how much are they giving to their team of how many people, you know? How many people are in that studio? Can we look that up? $174 people employed at Unknown Worlds, okay? Let's assume every single one of them gets a cut, right? So it'd be 250 million. That's a lot of money. We'll do 174 plus 3, so 177. Each person would be, if fairly cut, getting $1.4 million. Okay? Now, if that was the case, I'd be all for it, but a sneaking suspicion that's not the case. Oh. Hey, we got a cuttlefish. Did we get the trophy? Hey, hatch and release a cuttlefish. Yeah, play with its little cute self. High five, buddy. Let's go. Wait, come here. Hello? Stop. Quit swimming where I can't fucking get you. Here, buddy. I need 2 peepers to go throw into there. Do we need them? Probably not. Probably not. Got a spade fish. I don't know what creatures those are. Can't play with you. No, I can just pick them up in here. I already released your brother. I'm not releasing you. 3 more eggs. And then we're out of here. For now. We could come back to Subnautica. I think it'd be fun to do a modded playthrough at some point, but maybe after below 0. At some point. Do want to save there, though, because I don't want to wait on my cuttlefish again. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to call this series here. This was just a little bonus episode to talk about some Subnautica stuff, my opinions on the game. What we're doing in the future. Consider this a little bonus super chill. But I will catch you next time. Remember, like, subscribe, favorite on YouTube. Follow me on Twitch. Both of them are BREWXBRU. I had fun with this series. I hope you did too. And I will definitely catch you next time. In below 0 rematch? We'll know. We'll see. See you. Have a good one. Thanks again.